Vamonos, y'all. Directly ahead of us, this is the most famous bridge on the Riverwalk. This is Salinas Bridge, named for the Tahana singer and dancer Salina Bidi Bidi Bam Bam. She was engaged up here on the top of this bridge, and you may have seen Jennifer Lopez at the top when she played Salina in the movie. A lot of people like to recreate that scene. That's why this is also called the Kissing Bridge. Besos, y'all. Although nowadays I think it should be called the Selfie Bridge. After the tour, I'll drop you off right next to it and you can get your selfie up here. Coming up on the right is the Go Rio shuttle. This is a hop-on, hop-off shuttle that goes a mile or two north of here up towards the Pearl, which is an upscale shopping and dining district. So they don't do the narrated tour. They're about to finish their last run of the night though, so if you're out here tomorrow you could get a shuttle ticket.
Cindy, nice breeze.
I know.
We're about to see an optical illusion. After we pass under this bridge, look on the left side of the river, straight up at the top of the building. Left side, straight up at the top for an optical illusion. Does this building look flat to you? Straight up on the left side.
Yeah.
So that was the Nix Hospital building. Comedian Carol Burnett, she was born in that hospital, as well as Oliver North from the Iran-Contra scandal.
Cindy, here's a crab shack. Cindy.
What?
Crab shack? No, I didn't say that. It says crab. I don't? Okay, all right.
On a shortcut to the Alamo for y'all. Over here where they're playing music on the left, this is the Hyatt Regency Hotel. You can cut through these couple doors, go out the back, and be standing directly in front of the Alamo. Coming up on the right is the Casino Club building in red. Casino Club was a private German-American club, later turned into an apartment building. If you saw the miniseries Roots, the author of the book Roots,
Cindy.
Alex Haley, he lived in the Casino
Cindy.
Club on our right back in the
Steakhouse.
1970s.
Yeah. Oh, CVS. Oh my God. That's where I want to have dinner. Right there.
That's what we stopped there a while ago.
This
the
is
only one I can
Restaurant Square,
afford.
where you'll find the majority of the Riverside dining. It's also where you'll find the majority of the ducks. The ducks want tortilla chips. They go quackers. for
Cindy should
crackers.
never have brought you down this section.
Oh yeah. Hurry, hurry, okay,
Yeah.
No, we're at the American. Oh, it smells so good down here.
So far we've been on the natural part of the river. That's about to change. We're going to do a little detour now and go down a completely man-made part of the river. This is where everyone who loves steak takes out their phone and starts taking selfies. So everything ahead of us all excavated for the 1968 World's Fair. There used to be a neighborhood here. They had to evict everyone from the neighborhood and demolish it. Connects the convention center to the natural part of the Riverwalk. Coming up on the left, there's this really pretty mural of these giant butterfly wings. You can get your picture in front of the wings. It's in a really good spot because on the other side of the river, there's a butterfly garden. Most of the mariposas, the butterflies, they're asleep right now, but you might see a possum out here. There's definitely a possum that likes to hang out around this spot of the river. So we're about to see the centerpiece of the 1968 World's Fair. Coming up on the right, there's a gap in the trees, and we're going to see the Tower of the Americas. So if you look way up on the right, above the next little street lamp, you'll see the tower way up there about 2 o'clock. There it is, way up off the right side. At the time of its construction, that was the tallest observation tower in the United States. They built it a couple years after the Space Needle in Seattle. So they made it just a little bit taller, just to be like na 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 na. Now the record is held by the Stratosphere in Las Vegas. Up there at the top of the tower, there's a restaurant. It rotates all the way around about every 45 minutes.
Now I do encourage you guys to take your cameras out one last.
If any of y'all are looking for a challenge, the record time to climb the 952
Look at
stairs,
that, Cindy.
5 minutes, 18 seconds. I recommend taking the elevator. Directly ahead of us, you'll see a really big sculpture of a woman gazing at a star. Her name is Stargazer. She's made out of volcanic stone block from Mexico. The star is made from marble. And she represents all of our ancestors who've been staring up at the same night sky for thousands and thousands of years. Another much smaller statue to point out over on the left side, about 9 o'clock in the dark. There's a little statue of San Antonio over here on our left on the other side of the river. I'm going to talk about him once we come out of this next little cul-de-sac. If you check out the boats, you'll notice that they're all in a papel picado style. These are the craft paper banners put up for holidays and celebrations. This boat on the right, this is the Peace boat. It has peace doves all around the outside for San Antonio's Peace Laureate. And this last boat down here ahead of us, this is the Sun boat. It has the sun design all around the outside in honor of the 300 days of sunshine we get here every year. Our boat, we're on the Tricentennial boat. It celebrates our 300th anniversary. We're now heading into the lagoon at the shops at River Center. This is a shopping mall. It's got an IMAX theater, Another shortcut to the Alamo through the mall. You can cut straight through there. Alamo's on the other side past the Starbucks.
Now this feels good.
This is great.
Yeah, we need tomorrow, so.
Yo quería esa para el día.
Okay. Not too cold. Oh,
I'm
that's
often
good.
asked what the name of the river is. This is the San Antonio River. It's pretty easy to remember. Named for San Antonio of Padua. You saw his statue a moment ago. We'll see him again in just a moment. He's the patron saint of Portugal. The Portuguese delegation of the 1968 World's Fair gave us that statue.
That's pretty cool, isn't it, Cindy?
I don't know why the city hit him in the corner where no one can really ever see him. But just after this bridge, he'll be over on the right side again, about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And here he is again on the right, San Antonio, San Anthony. San Antonio, San Anthony, he was a medieval Franciscan
Cindy,
friar. He
there's
was
a
born in
nice
Lisbon. Spent most of his career in Padua, Italy. He was famous for his preaching. San Antonio died June 13th, 1231. June 13th became his feast day. That's the same day the missionaries arrived out here for the first time, June 13th, 1690.
Yeah, good day.
So they named the river after him because it was his day, and apparently your day too. Before this was called the San Antonio River, the local Payaya Native Americans called it Yana Gawana. That means the place of clear water. They were talking about the source of the river a couple miles north of here, up at the University of the Incarnate Word. They have the Blue Hole on campus. It's the traditional source, underground spring. It used to bubble and gurgle up. Nowadays, everyone uses all the water from the Edwards Aquifer to supply our town and Austin and everything in between. That they have to pump the water up.
Had plumbing, electricity, carpet.
Ahead of us, this next bridge, this is the Alamo Street Bridge. Alamo is about a block or two to the right. Not everyone knows that Alamo, that's actually a nickname. The real name of the mission was Mission Bolero, like Bolero gasoline. And then after the missionaries had converted everyone, it was deconsecrated, later became a military garrison. And it was the Spanish soldiers who were stationed there that started calling it Alamo. That means cottonwood in Spanish, like cottonwood tree. That's the nickname. Directly ahead of us, the restaurant with the umbrellas is the Casa Rio Mexican restaurant, oldest restaurant on the Riverwalk. Built on the site of an old Spanish villa, founded in 1777. The fireplace, one of the doors, some of the walls from that original villa. And we're about to leave this man-made part of the river. We're going to head back out into the natural part straight ahead of us. Can't really tell the difference from up here, but under the water it goes from concrete to a dirt bottom.
Is that like Cataloma?
Coming up on the left, the Hilton Palacio del Rio Hotel. I pointed out because it set a Guinness World Record, but first the piano bar over here on the left. So above the piano bar, the Hilton, all these rooms up here, all built individually on the ground, fully furnished on the ground, and then hoisted by crane up into place, stacked on top of each other like Lego blocks. The construction took 202 working days. The crews took the weekends off. They opened up 10 days before the World's Fair. Directly ahead of us at street level where the music's playing from, that's La Villita. La Villita means little village. The Native Americans had a little settlement up there when the Spanish arrived. Today, La Villita is an arts district about 1 block by 2 blocks. They're having a battle with the band. Impromptu, they didn't plan it, but they just both playing at the same time. We're entering the Arneson River Theater. You may have seen Sandra Bullock here in the movie Miss Congeniality. She was standing up on the stage on the right. William Shatner, he was over on the left side next to the crowd. That was the second pageant in the movie that was filmed here.
¿Sí te acuerdas de cuál parte de la película está? When she says.
We've had many dancers perform here. One of the most renowned, a woman named Rosita Fernandez. She'd often begin her dance performance at the top of this little bridge. It's been named after her. This is Rosita's Bridge. Speaking of dancers, y'all know how flamenco dancers fish? They cast a net.
Oh.
Over here next to the waterfall is the Briscoe Western Art Museum. It's got a lot of paintings and sculptures of the Wild West. They have one of Pancho Villa's saddles, one of General Santa Anna's sword. Coming up on the right, you'll see the sculpture of a vaquero, a cowboy, driving his cattle. This is the starting point for a lot of the really big cattle drives. Cowboys would round up huge herds of cattle, drive them all the way up to Kansas, the closest railroad stop. And then the cattle would be shipped up to Chicago to be canned. There's just after the U.S. Civil War, the nation had a shortage of pork, and so beef was in big demand. And so that's why all the cowboys had all that work to do. The reason there are all the cows just out here wandering around in Texas, cows aren't native to North America. The Spanish brought them when they were exploring, and they'd leave them in strategic areas like river crossings, along with pairs of horses. And then over the next 200 years, all those animals had multiplied, and the cowboys could just round them up. In the year 1800, there were millions of cattle in Texas and only about 10,000 settlers. Coming up on the right, there's an island surrounded by water. This is Marriage Island coming up on the right, where that sculpture is. Over 200 weddings take place here every year. I saw 3 weddings here yesterday. The sculpture is called Father Massenet's Table, named for Father Damien Massenet, the head missionary that named the river back in 1691. The island's made out of the root ball of that bald cypress tree. Before this bridge was built, this was the site of a popular river crossing. The pioneers, cowboys, they would use this spot to ford the river to get in and out of town. We know that Theodore Roosevelt forded the river in this spot. He came to San Antonio to recruit for the Rough Riders, and they had a practice field a little bit south of us, kind of towards our left. Way up on the left side is the Tower Life building. If you look way up there at the very top near the American flag, you'll see some monsters, some gargoyles way up there. Those gargoyles let you know the building is Gothic Revivalist. They're put on the building for superstitious reasons. They're supposed to ward away bad business. We know they don't work. The Tower Life building was completed in 1929, just before the great stock market crash. The developers went bankrupt. In 1929 dollars, they spent $2 million to build it and sold it for $300,000 at foreclosure. Yeah. I don't have the exact numbers memorized. I think in today's dollars, it's like building it for like $36 million and selling it for $7 million. Something like that. The McCombs family recently purchased it. They used to own the Minnesota Vikings and the Spurs here in town, and they've recently got the permits from the city to convert it from office space into luxury apartments. Directly ahead of us is the Bexar County Courthouse. It's that building with the acorn-shaped dome that ahead. Largest county courthouse in Texas. It's also called Big Red. It's made out of red sandstone, although some people take it for granite. It's in a Romanesque revivalist style that was popular in the late 1800s. Over on the right, one of our 2 marinas where we dock our boats. We plug them in overnight. They're all electric. They got a charge up. This next little bridge here, this is actually a floodgate. Floodgate number 4 opens from the bottom up like a drawbridge. We're going to drive directly over the floodgate, but first I have a mandatory stop here. And I'm going to stop and honk the horn. Horn's up there in the front. You're welcome to cover your ears. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go. So if you look on the walls on either side, you can see where the floodgate scrapes it up when it opens and closes. Floodgate is under the boat, under the water right now. The river continues 200 miles to the left. It goes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Only thing standing between us and Cancun, top of that 15-foot dam over there on the left, where those lights are over there, 15-foot drop. I could go that way, but I could only do it one time. Riverwalk keeps going behind us for another 11 miles. You can bike or walk or kayak that whole thing. And you'll pass the 4 other San Antonio missions. They're all spaced about 2 miles apart along the river. And you can visit them for free. They're all managed by the National Park Service. We're now in a little man-made part of the river. This next 200 yards it was all excavated. That's why the walls are so high here. This is the flood control channel. This was created after a horrible flood in 1921. Floodwaters got 9 feet above the street level. So the Army Corps of the Engineers, the city, they excavated this in the 20s. That's when they had the idea for the Riverwalk. Due to the Great Depression, they weren't able to complete the Riverwalk until 1931. Back then, it was about 2 miles long. Today, the Riverwalk's about 15 miles long. Coming up on the left is the very center of town. Main Plaza is the site of the original settlement. We won't be able to see much down here through the trees and the staircase. But this is where the settlers from the Canary Islands founded their settlement. So we're passing the very center of town now. And back there in the dark is San Fernando Cathedral. There's a free light show that takes place on the facade of the cathedral called San Antonio Riverwalk. Can't really see the cathedral from here, but if you walk over there after the tour, there should be a free light show. I believe it starts at 9 o'clock and another one at 9:30. I would recommend you Google the times because sometimes they change it on us. But it's 20-something minutes long, completely free, completely automated with lights and music. So. Directly ahead of us, you'll see the tallest bald cypress tree on the tour. That tree with all the lights on it is over 100 feet tall. And this is the little tiki bar over here on the right.
Cindy, hear it?
Yeah.
We're rejoining the natural path of the river with the dirt bottom. And we're about to go underneath floodgate number 3. Floodgate 3 closes from above. There's pigeons up here in the floodgate. Don't look up with your mouth open. River is really well managed. There's dams all up and down the river. And so before storms rolls through, they'll just let some of the water out from the dams to accommodate any new rainfall. So I've never seen these floodgates used for any actual floods. The only time I've seen them closed is when they drain this part of the river ahead of us and yank out all of the scooters and cell phones and margarita cups. That's about once every 2 years. So we're about to pass the oldest bar on the Riverwalk. The Esquire Tavern will be on the right just after the scaffolding. The tavern opened up the day after Prohibition ended. Somehow they already had a fully stocked bar ready to go. This was a speakeasy during Prohibition, disguised as a barbershop. You could go in there, get a buzz, and a cut. And they still have a secret speakeasy bar downstairs. If it's ever locked from the outside, you can go upstairs to the main entrance and down the secret staircase, and you'll be inside the speakeasy. Again, my name is Austin. Hope you all enjoyed this little mosey around the river with me. Back here on the helm, I do have a little tip jar. It's got QR codes on it for Cash App, Venmo, Apple Pay, Google Pay. Tips allowed, accepted, and appreciated. Next, I'd like to ask that you please look around, make sure you take off everything that you brought on board. We do have a lost and found in our ticket office. I want to say